We're going to watch McFarlane's speech here at this latest propaganda feast. We haven't seen a propaganda feast like this since the Green Line. These propaganda events are all staged by the bureaucrats that have created this event with the complicity of the mainstream media, who take a routine function of any bureaucracy, which is supposed to be to service its people, and turn it into some kind of a Hail Mary event, which is what we have here with this Global Sherpa telephone app. Now, the Global Sherpa telephone app, it's a good thing. Nobody can say it's a bad thing, but there are questions that are raised with this application. I have a problem with TriMet executives on the other end of this thing here, specifically Carolyn Young and somebody from the IT department making money. An example of the revolving door between government and private business, where the two function as one. Um, that bothers me. It's not like it's unusual. It happens everywhere in this country and probably every country, but that doesn't make it right just because it's business as usual. And number two, it's created TriMet has created maybe intentionally or probably unintentionally a underclass of riders now, a discriminatory ridership, which is now going to have to suffer the abusive TriMet fare policies that everybody had to suffer in the past, which was if your ticket machine doesn't work, you've got to get off at the next station, miss the train you're on, hopefully the next train will come, and buy your ticket there. See, all of the iPhone, Android users, people with smartphones like this, everybody who has one of these is generally upper middle class people, or people without a lot of expenses. Okay, they're not working class people. These are expensive. Cell phones with 3G or 4G access are expensive. They're not something you get for cheap. There's a lot of people that don't have them. TriMet says that 90% have them. I don't believe it first. I used to drive buses in Portland. Okay, you remember I did it for 15 years. Not that many people on the buses I drove had smartphones. Some of them were getting them, but it's expensive, and people that don't have money don't have smartphones. And a lot of people that ride the transit system don't have money. So TriMet has created this subclass now of riders who will suffer abusive treatment, while all the people who have money, who have smartphones, don't have to worry about this TVM failure. And that's the other problem I've had with this application, is that it's indemnified TriMet's incompetence with their fare collection system for all these years. Somehow, all of a sudden, everybody has focused this as some kind of a victory for TriMet. Well, actually, their defeat is still a solid defeat, because for years they've put riders through this torture to ride TriMet. And all of a sudden they've come up with something new, or Global Sherpa did actually, and somehow that indemnifies them from all of their past malfeasance. I don't buy that for a second. What I see here is massively exercised and very carefully manipulated propaganda, which has been bought hook, line, and sinker by the public as to some kind of joyous event. And to watch it from my point of view and watch the manipulation of the masses like this, it's astonishing to me. It's astonishing to watch how easily the public is manipulated into ways of thinking. We're going to watch Neil's speech here about all of this. That's my 2 cents on it. Enjoy his speech, his bullshit crap. One more comment about this before we watch Neil's speech. This is the cost. They say they're going to save massive amounts of money on this. Well, turns out that TriMet will pay the credit card fee, not Global Sherpa, according to our head researcher over here. And the Global Sherpa contract calls for 5 to 7%, according to Joe Rose, profit margin. I'm not sure why that's a variable amount, 5 to 7%. Let's just say 7%, in other words. Okay, just like all the TriMet contracts, they're never the bottom of the number. They're always the top. As you watch any board meeting, you see them always adding millions of dollars to whoever happens to be the contractor for new things that they didn't think of in the beginning, and I'm sure so. The Global Sherpa commission will be 7%, and it's a 4% commission to the credit card companies, which seems rather high actually. So that's an 11% loss in revenue for TriMet. Now they're going to pay that commission to the credit card companies if a person's using a credit card on a TVM as well as global Sherpa. I mean, the credit card company fees are the same no matter where, although you should get a pretty good discount if you have a decent volume. It seems to me like 4% would be high. I used to take them in my business. I didn't pay that, and I had a little business. Of course, I haven't taken them in 10 years. I just got tired of dealing with the banks. So that's 11% loss of revenue over cash. Cash payments is full revenue for TriMet. $100,000 would cost them $11,000 of profit going to outside vendors. I consider that troubling. I don't see public transit profiting private companies. All of the TVMs should be owned by TriMet and fixed by TriMet. You can't do anything about the credit card processing fees. That's a fact. But when you have overhead going to other places, I wonder about that. I'm curious why TriMet didn't bring this whole application in-house and own the application. Although we know in today's world, they don't do that anymore. The government is putting everything out to private people. They're taking the tax money and using it to enrich private corporations. But I would have been more satisfied if this had been an in-house project. TriMet actually owned this thing, and they don't. And that's troubling because it's 7% now. I wonder when the contract expires. It could go up. Yeah, there's a lot of questions about this that nobody's asking, of course, because they're so joyously happy that they have this cell phone app. It's just absurd. The whole thing is just absurd.
Well, let's get this show on the road, as they like to say. Yeah. I want to welcome you all to this great celebration of the innovative TriMet ticketing app. I want to thank, first of all, PSU for allowing us to have this event here. You might know that actually we carry about 40% of PSU students and faculty and visitors to this campus. So it's our #1 transit destination, so there's one key reason why we're here at PSU. The other is that there's a great connection between Transit Sherpa and the staff there and PSU. And we'll get into that a little bit more. You know, we're also at a spot that in a little over 2 years will connect with the new Orange Line serving Southeast Portland, but also it will connect PSU to the new collaborative Life Health Sciences building being built at the South Waterfront campus, where a lot of the PSU campus classes will begin to be held. You know, I wanted to particularly thank Martine Zarzar and the great band who have kicked us off here. Martine is a great transit supporter. We love having you here, and it's a terrific event for you to be here at. And I also want to particularly thank two TriMet board members, Dr. T. Allen Bethel and Joe Esmond, for being here as well to help us celebrate this kickoff event. So as I said, we're here to celebrate, obviously, that your phone will become your fare, the TriMet Tickets mobile app. And this is part of a 5-year plan that we've got to actually make riding TriMet easier and more convenient for all of our customers. Now, with just a few taps on the phone, you can now buy a ticket and activate it and be on the way without having to mess with our ticket vending machines, without having to mess with your cash fare. It takes just seconds, anytime and anywhere, to buy a ticket now. With this, TriMet riders will become the first in the nation to be able to use this on trains, on buses, throughout our system in a complete and ubiquitous way. It also saves TriMet money that we'd otherwise have to handle in processing tickets and cash. And so it's a good investment all around for the riders, convenience, and for Transit Sherpa, hopefully a good business, and for TriMet, actually savings in the long run. And I would say that this would not be a reality today if it wasn't for the vision. Two of our friends, two PSU alum who are here with us today, represented particularly by Nat Parker, a Globe Sherpa. And I really wanted to thank Nat and his team for the great work that they've done.